Queuing is something that we all do. I mean, as an Irishman myself, I'm quite the queuer. Whenever I return home from the airport after being away in another country, they don't even need to check my passport to see that I'm Irish. They know that I am because I just start walking from one end of the room to the other through those rope things. You need to queue for a lot of things in life, even entertainment. I mean, movies, theme parks, the motor tax office. But one form of entertainment has no such thing: video games. The one thing between you and your copy of Persona 3 Reload episode I guess is just how much you value your social life and your internet connection. So not much. I mean, even when I was younger, the one thing between me and any new game that I would have picked up while out shopping with my parents was the car ride home because I forgot to bring my 3DS with me. So you know what that means? It's time to read the back of the Tomodachi Life box. Wait, what? Outplayed is a free video capture software that will record your highlights automatically, and with the massive list of supported games, you don't need to worry about clipping anything manually. You don't even need to be worried about space, since you can change the settings so it only records what you deem important. And if you think something funny your friend said was missed, you can still clip it yourself. And if you're worried a clip is too long or there's just one short moment you wish to be seen, you can trim it down with the editor before sharing it to Twitter, Discord, or anywhere you wish, all within the app. Once again, it's free to download, so check it out with the link in the description. Video games are the best form of on-demand entertainment. All you gotta do is load it up, get through the menu, and... what the fuck is this? Online gaming, what most would call an option, video game companies call a reason to lay off their entire workforce. And I mean, why wouldn't you add online to your game? It'll let anyone play with their friends anywhere, it'll let people play whenever they want, and it adds infinite replay value since you can just load it up, play against new people with different playstyles, and every game will be different each and every time. Each and every time! Try playing an online game while knowing you need to be somewhere soon. Try it. So basically, any game that involves online has some kind of queue system in place. I mean, it just makes sense. We need 10 players to play this, so we gotta wait around to find them, so let's hit the buttons and... well, I don't know what I expected. And you know, most game queues are exactly that. Queue for game. There are different types of queues. Some games use skill-based matchmaking, others have role systems in place, or some just have none of the above for whatever reason it may be. But I'm not here to discuss anything like that for the moment. I'm not here to look at queue times, I'm not here to look at queue types. No, I'm here for something much, much less important. Something entirely superfluous. I want to discuss something pointless, something that doesn't matter at all. Queue time activities. You ought to do something while you wait, really, anything at all. So long as it can stop the existential dread from kicking in, any stimulus will do. So we may as well start with the one that 90% of people will be drawn to. Look, I'm in that 10% for better or worse. I don't have TikTok on my phone, so this is the best that we're gonna do. Short form content. What better way to keep any thoughts from creeping in than watching the silly people on your phone while you wait to engage in an activity that you're probably only engaging in to begin with to stop any thoughts from creeping in. While I have my own thoughts on short form content, I don't like it as my main way to consume media. It's grand every now and then, but it is becoming the main form of entertainment for a lot of people, even when they're entertaining themselves in other ways. Since most games have queues where at best you can take a look through the menus, and a lot of the time people will just tab out or grab their phone and start scrolling, which also brings into question why bother setting up options to exist during queues. I mean, in some games queues are so fast it doesn't even matter, but even if they're only a minute, why bother setting up something in your game that'll allow players to do stuff during queues if most players are just going to start doom scrolling until they've realized they're on character select? Because it gives me something interesting to talk about. So we may as well start with one of the earliest games I experienced that had something for you to do while you waited to get into a match: Splatoon. Every single Splatoon game has had something for you to do while you wait for a match, though I should say now I don't actually own any modern Splatoon game. Why, you ask? These are all the Nintendo Switch controllers that I own. This one is a 20€ wired one from PowerRay, so it never had any motion controls to begin with. This one is a shitty knockoff from GameStop that one of my friends broke, and it never had any motion controls to begin with as well. And then these two grew up watching Need for Speed and Initial D, and now I have to deal with the consequences. So I have only played Splatoon 1. I mean, I played a little bit of 2, but then it was used to fund what would become one of my many obsessions. But I do love and respect these games and have a lot of nostalgia for Splatoon 1, especially Squid Jump. The doctors haven't quite figured out what's going on in there either, so don't ask me. While waiting for a match to start, you can play one of the arcade games that they had in the lobby, Squid Jump. 50 quid well spent right there. Splatoon 2 lets you mess around with sounds on the menu. Maybe this is why I sold it actually. And in Splatoon 3, you have access to the training mode, which realistically is much more functional than Squid Jump, but I want you to think about the potential of a Squid Jump featuring Big Man and tell me it wouldn't be a recipe for Game of the Year. These types of silly, basically pointless additions are stupid, dumb, stupid things that I just love to bits for reasons I cannot explain. Like, do not get me started on the fact that you can make Violet jump on the loading screens of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, I don't think I could ever just socially recover from the impact that would have on me if people I knew in real life discovered that. I don't know why, I just love this stuff. I mean, my opinion on games like Fortnite, Apex, League of Legends, Dota 2, Valorant, CSGO, like Gigantic, Paladins, Omega Strikers, Age of Mythology Retold, I don't know, any games like those, it's not going to change drastically just because I can't do something in the queue. I just like these little queue time activities as just nice additions. They're just a cool little detail, I suppose. They're just nice extra bits to have in the game. Like, I'm not going to have a negative opinion on a game just because I can't do something funky during the queue. I would count Concord in that previous pile, but I don't think shutting down your servers mid-queue is quite what I meant when I said something funky. We may as well stick within the Nintendo sphere for a moment, since another one of their games has had queue time activities since the Wii. Smash Bros lets you beat up the sandbag while you wait for an opponent, so we may as well take a look. I just gotta pop in Brawl and damn it. Well, that's fine, I have Smash 4 right here, so I can just pop this in and, look, you know, this one's on me. You know, it's fine, I have Ultimate here, so we can just pop it in, load it up, head to the online, and I think I'm gonna lose it. Alright, I just gotta pull out the actual game card, and now we can finally see what we can do while queuing up for Smash Bros online. I played Kirby, do you think I know what to do now that I'm here? A lot of games let you play in the training mode while you wait for a match. I mean Pokemon Unite, Grand Blue Fantasy, Tekken 8, really just any fighting game. I mean the only one I've experienced with would be in Guilty Gear Strive, though I'm unsure if this lobby could actually count as a queue since it isn't a queue in the traditional sense, but works for this. Having the training mode available while players wait to get into a match is just a good idea no matter the game's genre. It helps them put in a little bit of practice as they wait, whether they're new and just getting the hang of the controls, or experienced and just practicing or trying to stay warmed up. It's also probably the easiest type of mid-queue activity to make, I say as I have the most bizarre coding knowledge to any human who's ever graced this earth. I said probably for a reason. Now there's one more game that has by far the most bizarre mid-queue activity of all time, Sea of Thieves PvP. There's something called the Hourglass, which you can activate during queue, which just lets you play the game. I mean, hey, that's one way to go about it, but it's weird in a way, because unlike everything else I've mentioned, it actually changes the length of your queue. Once you activate it, you can't do anything until 15 minutes have passed, which is definitely a strange way to go about things, but in fairness, it makes sense in the context of Sea of Thieves. Since it swaps you into the actual game, having a timer in place stops the potential abuse of the system, since you can't just grab a bunch of loot, get the loot bonus, and then sell it for a pretty low amount of risk. So while it's balanced, it's definitely strange. Before activating it, you're kind of gambling. What if you'll actually get into the PvP match in less than 15 minutes? Then you just wait. But once it starts taking a while, you'd consider actually activating the Hourglass, but once you do, you're guaranteed to be waiting another 15 minutes. It's nearly a catch-22 situation. But there is one game that I would say has the absolute best mid-queue time activities. It's not the dress to impress parkour, get the fuck out of my house. Overwatch. There's a lot about this game to be criticized. There's a lot about this game that I criticize. But despite this, it's probably my second or third most played game of all time, and it helped shape me into who I am today. I never said that it shaped me well, but something I love in Overwatch is something that they added way back in 2019, when the roll-lock queue times were getting a little bit long while you wait. While previously Overwatch did let you enter a thing called Skirmish while waiting for matches, it wasn't popular since it didn't really have much of a purpose like Mario Kart 8's old battle mode. But While You Wait gives you 4 options of things to do while in queue. You can enter the training range, a skirmish, a deathmatch lobby, or the correct choice of joining in on custom games. Now while Overwatch and long queue times are their own discussion and issue, I don't care about that right now because I can play the One Punch Game Man mode thing with my friends while we wait for a game. Like this is peak. While You Wait letting players access custom games is just one of the best features possible. Anyone trying to stay warmed up for ranked has TXCXX or various training modes made by the community. And if you're trying to have fun, you can just scroll through and see what random custom games you could encounter. I mean, I'll even try it right now. Let me just open up the custom game browser and see what we have to work with. I would like to retract my previous statement.